Well, there's quite a hullabaloo about the deer population needing to be thinned out, so that we're doing a favor for the deer if we just to make their numbers. Well, I just wonder, why can't they use some kind of a birth control mechanism? You know, in those salt licks and stuff like that. Really?
Instead of killing them.
Huh?
Instead of shooting them.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Shop is more of a memento than anything else, because there's no business associated with which had formerly been a viable shop. Now it's only memories.
Now, do customers neglect to ring the bell? Because I see you have it written. You have written "ring the bell" maybe 7 times on the door.
Well, there is a puzzling array of bell buttons here, but this one is more workable than the other one. The both is probably not 100%, but they do summon me from downstairs and upstairs at the same time. They push both buttons, as indicated there. Ring both buttons. Do you always ring 2 of them when you arrive? You can take instructions.
All right, now let's go inside. Let's go inside now.
Yeah.
We are now entering the museum.
But in the world of nature, the salamanders also set up their schedule. There's a certain day during the spring, temperature, rain is just perfect. And they make their move, the exodus, from the forest to the vernal pools.
You must have a reasonable package so it's small enough to be undetected. You said yes.
Yeah.
Well, what pocket would you put that in?
No. This goes in a backpack.
Oh, that makes sense.
And then I have a little tiny camera.
That's going to be pinned to your apparel.
So let's practice. Let's talk about your shop.
That's hellish. You have to have one of these machetes to work your way about.
Well, do you know the history of the? Do you know the history of this area at all, P.T. Barnum?
What's that?
Do you know the history of this area?
Not really. I know a little bit about P.T. Barnum, but I think a lot of that is hokum anyway. Don't you?
Well, he never said a sucker is born every minute. He was credited, but he never said that.
Maybe he didn't, but as you say, he practiced. He had that word for exit on his door. He charged for the exit, and that wasn't nice. What show?
It'll be a commercial.
We're gonna get you $1 million. So then you.
Boy, I'd like to make just 100.
You're going to be paid for this. And this is going to be commercial.
Well, I would like to see some kind of an ancillary benefit, but it's fun anyway, you know?
And throughout the year, I've traveled the world, but there's only a few things that I look forward to during the year. And the salamanders is at the top of the list. Mother Nature, the rite of spring. Igor Stravinsky portrayed it the best in his famous musical Passage.
How long has this shop been open for?
I can't hear you, sir.
How long has the shop been open?
He's using people as a sucker there. You know that. I don't know. You're just an old Yankee who really, in a way, he didn't have as much showmanship as some of the people who followed him.
Uh-huh.
People who come in from Eastern Europe, the Jews. they knew showmanship. Up in the Catskills, in East New York. Oh, I've been in sewing machines for maybe 60 years. God, isn't that a nice shot up in there?
Yes.
Isn't it really beautiful? I've had no business at all today, except a lady from Brazil picked up 3 pairs of scissors that I sharpened.
Light until tomorrow morning. John, could he hear us? Could he hear us on the S recorder, is it? Could he hear us talking right now on his phone? Well, you just made an interesting, a cogent point, because you opened up the business here, which is now known as the Danbury Sewing Museum, but you opened in 1953. And the ironic thing was that in 1953, Sir Rodney Dow emigrated from Vermont to Danbury. 1953 was one of the big years in the history of Danbury. Over there on the Mountainville.
Watch it there and then...
Yeah, there's 24 horses there.
Is there really?
You want to climb the tree for the camera?
Try it.
Oh, you after me?
For family archives. So when you croak, your relatives can be...
I can't hear it.
When you croak, your relatives will have memorabilia.
They got too much of that now.
Just try it. Just go up just a few feet. Just,
I mean, climb it?
yeah, just try it. Just try it a little bit. Don't go too far.
I can't because I'm not in football.
Yeah, don't go too far.
How about this? I need some,
Gloves. Need gloves.
well, I use gloves.
Did you get it?
Uh-huh.
Someone might ask you why you have your hand always on the side of your face.
Because I'm too cheap to buy a hearing aid. I'm wearing my brother's hearing aid.
Because we had a guy, we're on a tour, and she says, here's a nice juicy earthworm. She ate half of it. She said, who wants the other half? And
I think when
Nobody
people
wanted
do
it.
eat the earthworms, they leave them in oatmeal or something to get the dirt and grit out first. But
Oh,
that's
is that
not,
right?
yeah, that's not my area.
well, she took it straight.
I'll still get a lot of grit too.
If I slip and fall, at my age, my bones don't come back fast.
Yeah, you'd croak.
So I just tilted somewhat, so it's still a challenge, but this is a real challenge right here.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know,
Straight up.
straight vertical.
We're here with all of the nature people in Danbury, and I just left Archibald Brill, a mechanical engineer related to Steve, and we're in Cherrywell Park, and he just mentioned this will be perfect to go with my garlic mustard, which I'll be cooking for tonight. If I can get some away from the Asians, they come over here and they take all the mustard.
All right. Let me know when you want me to start.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to make 6 strokes.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Was the camera off? Was it off?
No.
What'd you say?
I said, oh my gosh.
I did 7 of them.
Your muscles.
No, I'm a light person. Are you aware of that? What he just came out with in a very exposing way.
You haven't watched television lately. That's nothing.
Witch hazel, yeah.
Witch hazel, yeah, we should go to the...
Yeah, but it's $2 and you have to actually strip the bark off of the witch
So
hazel
it would be
bush.
too labor intensive
It's labor intensive and it's destructive to the bush.
in case of emergency.
Yeah, an emergency you could do that, sure.
I just can't hear you. In reference to the war, my opinion is it's not needed. For whatever reason did we ever get involved with a war of this kind, where calamity and mayhem is going without any bounds? what's going to be our result? Are we going to be pleased with a country that's Americanized when they will wish that they perhaps would rather be the way they were? They are fighting us, you know.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit. They stand on which they believe very, very firmly. Not fight us with weapons that are nowhere near equivalent to what we're bringing in there.
All right. Now, what we have here is two veterans of foreign wars. Mr. Betolatti fought the war in Europe.
I can't hear you.
I won the war in China and India, but they attacked us. The Japanese attacked us. So we went to war to defend ourselves in a way.
Well, you have to call another time. It's not entirely my business to be able to discuss this with you. So thank you.
Now, over there, the people over there in the reserves and regular army, they volunteered. Getting killed, but they had no idea. They volunteered for the money as the reserves and regular army. Now, they're getting paid, but they're getting killed. So, there's a difference between you were drafted.
No, I volunteered.
All right. We both volunteered. Most of the people were drafted for World War II.
Telephone canvasser. He's trying to sell something.
Ah,
I thought it was for you.
It's like frog legs.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And it started with Abraham. When Abraham went out of see, this is not the kind of stuff you want to hear, but I find our attitude towards the war totally in opposition to what religion is supposed to teach us.
Yeah.
And out of this very country, in a very, very ironic sense, this very country is where all of this was established. Judaism through Abraham, Christianity through Abraham, through
Yes.
Judaism.
Well, who was Abraham?
Abraham.
Was that Lincoln?
That's the kind of thing I'd like to talk about. What are we doing there?
Yeah.
Is there any kind of allegiance to Christianity? Any allegiance to Judaism? Any allegiance to Muslim religions? They all have aspects of non-hostility.
They smell lemony. They come in a green husk. What you do is you go onto the pavement and stomp on them to get them out of the husk.
How about a nutcracker?
Well, I'm getting to that. Nutcracker is for nutshells, not for
Down
husks.
from the belly.
So first you, yes. Okay, all right.
But you
Here
take
we
a
go.
pick.
Okay, he wants nutcracker ballet.
So John and I gave 5 of the best years, the prime years of our life for World War II. And we sympathize with the soldiers that are over there because they're simply taking orders. They don't know what's going on. They're taking orders from somebody who's in effect signing their death certificate.
Husk. Stomp on it, and you get the nut out of the husk.
Well, you gotta have heavy
Then-
shoes. It's good. You get an A+.
Oh, this is for school?
Yeah, one of his projects. He'll get A+ for this.
Really?
Well, how many other students are going to come up with something like this? Real life.
Well, I don't know how to go across the observers. You know, he's going to be graded on it. The people who are grading him, that's what I'm
Well, if you were the teacher, how would you grade him?
maybe a C.
See,
Yeah.
he's a tough grader.
Hey, turn the light on, John.
Wow. Well, you got a lot of stuff. Well, God,
Lucky you don't have him for a
polished.
teacher, huh?
It's hardly polished, so I'm unprepared. It's too extemporaneous.
There's no
to have-
room in here.
No, we don't want polished. We want extemporaneous.
Yeah,
We
you
don't-
gotta
we
get
don't-
across to whomever you're confronting with your message.
You ever see these jerks that are interviewed on television? They interview about 20 people, and then they take out the show, actually show on TV. They pick out some that were thrown out of school in the 4th grade, and they put them on television.
You would hope to make a example that's going to be accepted with agreement.
All right. Betolatti and I, today, if this war came up, we would be conscientious objectors. We wouldn't go over there and die for the Arabs and the oil. We would go to Canada. We'd be conscientious objectors.
Yes.
I can't agree with that.
Oh, you would go over there and die?
When you're 18 years old, I was 19. I
You have no brains, whatever.
didn't know that.
Now, which is your best arm? Usually one arm has a better reading than
This
another.
is not the best arm, but I need this for serving tennis balls.
No, I'm going to do both arms, and I'm going to teach you something. That, that
You didn't think of yourself getting croaked, you know.
No.
You were going to make it back. You hoped the other guys got croaked.
Yeah, but not you.
Yeah, not them. Yeah. So I didn't have a sense
Yeah.
of retribution. Of duty.
That's why he volunteered. Adventure, travel,
Exactly.
women.
Sure. Absolutely. Maybe you came late. Maybe you have to see them coming out. We already arrived a month ago.
the accurate one.
You're the only doctor that's had that approach.
Well, I don't know how many else people know about this, but
They know about it, but they don't want to bother.
I don't know.
The man in charge of lighting?
John Betolatti.
Number one lantern man.
Could take the blood pressure reading in both arms and take the lowest reading. And there is a difference between
The two
the blood
arms.
pressure
Yeah.
on the left and right side that I've discovered.
By the same token, when I give
Did you
blood,
know that?
Yeah, by the same token, when I give blood, more blood comes out of the right arm than the left. Here comes the safari. Of the old quarry. Midnight at the old quarry. Midnight at the old quarry. I went down to the funeral parlor. Yeah. And I priced some caskets. Now, what would you like? Would you like mahogany or like mahogany or teakwood or
Did you even see one? Did you see at least?
this video, this film that he's taking right now? This, I don't know if you realize, this could be the last shot ever taken of you. Was Igor Stravinsky, another Russian.
And I'm a jazz. I'm
Spring. Russia,
I know. Yes.
Russia.
Yeah.
We're just talking about the Nutcracker Suite.
Really?
Tchaikovsky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of our favorite composers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're here today at the O'Keel, the Old Quarry Nature Center. And today our guest is John Betolatti, local curator of the Liberty Street Museum. This might be the last hurrah.
Want a pound cake?
Now, going back in I arrived in Danbury in 53. Now, you're talking about in the 20s.
Oh yeah.
And And you were, wait a minute, you were only 4 years old. He says, how do you feel? And he says, if I get up in the morning, if I could get out of bed and walk, it's a good day.
I was born in 1923.
23, okay, and then you came up here in the latter part of the 20s. That would be, you'd be about 5 or 6 years old. I made a point of talking with the doctor today, and I said, how did the inauguration go? And he said, just great. I said it wasn't.
I hope you're not recording.
Oh,
There's no sound. So.
no. He's a local historian.
But not as a regular thing. It was an occasion of some non-frequency, actually.
During the summer?
Right there.
Summer or winter?
Oh, summer.
Yeah. If you don't get out of bed, if you die in bed, it's not such a good day.
And we're traveling from Culpet Hill through this avenue you see here,
Yes?
over to Long Ridge Road,
Right.
and then up to the Lake Eureka
Yeah,
Mountain Pond.
Eureka Reservoir. But at that time, this was nothing but a game trail. You see this place?
No, it was a road. It was a road.
It was a road?
You could
A
travel.
logging road.
It could have been years ago, but I drove through here in my car.
You did.
On a dare.
We're talking about the 20s when you were only 6
Oh,
years, six
yeah.
years old.
That's for sure.
How did you get your road? You drove in from where? Mountainville Avenue?
From Culpet Hill,
Coal pit.
because I can remember there was a ledge where my crankcase scraped.
Scraped on the, yeah.
I thought it was going to leak.
Yeah.
Oil.
What were you driving?
I had a
Hopmobile?
no, it was a Dodge.
Dodge.
This was not back in the 20s or 30s. This is when I got out of the Army.
Yeah.
But this was still a road to be traversed. You could travel it
Yeah. And the crankcase was dragging on the rock ledge.
for a brief moment. Yeah.
Be up there in the office next week to see the presidential mace, and that replaced the old one. And the new one, I said to the doctor, is it made of walnut or cherry? And he said, well, I think it's cherry. He says, it's not cherry.
CTnaturalist documentarian team.
Yeah, now this will end up eventually down at the Scott Fenton Museum, one of the historical libraries of Danbury. I said libraries. Some people say it's libraries. Said the doctor, something you have to look forward to in the future, when you become a past president, you will be shown no respect. Your earliest recollections when you came.
I have a beautiful story about Mountain Pond. A beautiful story.
Can we transfer it to here? 2 trees that we know of in Danbury. And today I went with my lawyer to collect some of these. He gets some of them, and he puts them in the refrigerator for some of his unsuspecting people. When you open the refrigerator and they think, oh, geez, what's this, a grapefruit or something? And you open it, and inside, it's foul. Inside, oh God, that smell. But the Osage Indians in Oklahoma, and this came from Oklahoma.
When I was about 12 years old, there was a young kid, Wookie Warburton, neighbor of mine, my brother, Charles. We would walk through here on the way to Mountain Pond.
Do you feel that you'd like to die today or tomorrow?
And even though it wasn't populated, it was quite rustic. There were people living in a shack down below, and they were kind of like recluse people. They lived as hermits, so I was told.
Past president, Ruth Hobbs, the first woman president of the university, had a lovely painting in the Ruth Hobbs Library, which disappeared under mysterious and suspicious circumstances. Went downstairs in the archives, put in the closet, somebody kicked it, had to be sent out to restore it, brought back in the closet. Nobody knew where it was.
But I know down in the Bethel Railroad, they don't. And there's woodchucks down there.
Until along comes a couple of citizens like C. Rodney Dow and the Connecticut Naturalist, and all of a sudden they say, "Oh my gosh, what happened to Ruth?" Oh, there she is. So I said to the doctor, "Be prepared. Once you're a past president, you're nothing but yesterday's news."
And they made their own booze. And this time, so I was told, they used galvanized tubs for the evaporators. And through that, instead of, we made booze in our own house, and we used copper kettles. But when you use galvanized metals, there's an introduction of some kind of poison, and they poison
Lead poisoning.
They poison themselves. So that has a bit of history that's on the not so glorious aspect of looking at wilderness and such, but that did happen.
Ribbit, ribbit, I am a frog. Ribbit, ribbit, splashing in the bog. I sing all night with the yellow moon above. Fireflies dance on my lily pad with me. I've got no time, I've got a date to cross the pond. Ribbit, ribbit, I am a frog. Ribbit, ribbit, laughing on a log. I love mosquitoes, taste like candy with wings. Don't kiss me, I am not a prince. I spend my days where horseflies meet the